Shama Kwaba Edoba GH Nation TV so and I team Defense Minister-designate.
Joint training, joint operations, we set up rules for them, rules of engagement we're teaching, but still had slips here and there. And there've been massive improvement in their relationship. I want you to tell us exactly what you believe you'll be able to do to ensure that the armed forces and the other security services not just operate as individuals, but even at operation, they can operate as a unit to ensure that Ghana remains very safe as we see it now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The collaboration between our security agencies have been very good, and I will not say that we should make perfect the enemy of good. We've had benefits from it, but clearly where we have unexpected outcomes, we will need to address them. The joint operations that they do can also be enhanced with joint training programs, more of such. And not just joint training programs, they can also have recreation together. Let's have more of that. If they are meeting each other, having physical training, even together sometimes, it brings them together, the bond becomes stronger, limits the level of competition that they may be looking at. And here I want to raise something that may look like a paradox. When you push soldiers to more and more be performing the functions of the police, if you are not careful, you are painting an impression that suggests that the police are incapable of doing what they have to do. That implicitly can generate unnecessary rivalry, which may manifest later as the clashes that we may be seeing. It is important to provide adequate training for the police, adequate training also for soldiers, ensure that where they need to come together, it is not just for operations, but also for recreation, also for physical training. And I believe the more we allow them to interface like this, we will be able to limit the clashes that we see, if not to eliminate them completely. Thank you.
Afenyo-markins Omane Boamah the defense who grow and Lieutenant Donald Trump Ashasia up pump for Afenyo-markins because Osusu said Omono threat to his national security. It was just open pump in Canada, yet him effort one of the important portfolios, that is Defense Minister-designate Omane Boamah.
Fair enough. So let me ask you this. So you will agree to the suggestion that your work as director of IT was not an employment, correct?
I won't see it as an employment unless you want to construe it that way.
Let me qualify. Did you earn any salary or were you being paid any allowance as a director of IT?
Occasionally.
Were you paying tax on that allowance?
I paid subsequently.
What do you mean by you pay subsequently?
I've addressed all my tax obligations.
Take it easy. Doc, you know, take it easy. I don't want us to make it clumsy. I don't want us to be all over the place. Take it easy. I want us to deal with the issue step.
So many questions about the national security and him in summer Afenyo. Now we show him say Omane Boamah no chairman for NDC EC. The people say the questions about Insembia ultimate about EC no ebra na yetim election.
Honorable Habib, do you have a further question? Okay, Chairman, the nominee's introduction, when you asked of his self-introduction, he said he is the Director of Elections and IT of the NDC. my question is on the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission that declared President Mahama and declared the 275 members of Parliament. Have you 275? One is not declared yet. 275. Mr. Chairman, my question is, have you ever described the EC as criminals, incompetent, and biased? And if yes, why? Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yes. Incompetence, basic arithmetic. The EC serially got it wrong. The criminality, people were transferred from their polling stations to different regions, not even within the same region, without they appearing to transfer. Bias. There were several times that we raised issues that we felt could have easily been addressed. And sometimes, as I watched after December 7, people struggling over seats, I said, look, if the Electoral Commission had listened to us and had dealt with the free pink sheets that were floating, we may not have had these issues on our hands. But obviously, the EC would not even listen to us. As we speak, we requested for a forensic audit of the voters' register and the IT system of the Electoral Commission. They never agreed. So incompetence, basic arithmetic, they were getting it wrong. The criminal aspect, to transfer people from their polling stations to different places in a different region. And when we brought this out and we asked them, they said, oh, we had not activated the liveliness test. So you knew you could activate the liveliness test. And they said, oh, it was because at the time that the procurement was done, the liveliness test was not that mature. But if they could activate it just when we identified and put out the information, what stopped them from doing that? And so, trust me, I have very good friends in there, but whenever we had to do our job to ensure that the right expressions were used, we did it. But the beauty is that it was never personal. Beyond doing our jobs, we continued very good, friendly relations. In fact, sometimes it pains me that when our General Secretary petitioned Parliament earlier, I think somewhere April 2024, Parliament did not take the necessary steps to investigate the Electoral Commission. If that had been done, we all may not have gotten to that point. But it looks like the malaise is when you are in government, you act as if the Electoral Commission is anachronistic and sacrosanct. I pray and hope that my party in government will not suffer that same disease.
Question say to me ebusa Omane Boamah any answers are ultimate my na before I become my source say subscribe to YouTube channel we ya over subscribe no like it now comment no share the way me update bia na usumenye bi na wo so and most importantly subscribe we ya na wo me adoma no so si bia me ye post wa na arrange na wo so nya bi na wo so share abusha assistance now there John Dramani Mahama egusu a all form the government na ministers need the what me appoint be. Now, Abusham, one of the people are ultimately appointed recently as Minister-designated for Defense, Omane Boamah. And vetting committee no etime kwatnanse etime eveti Omane Boamah na questions etime ebusa Omane Boamah ne de na questions edoso abusha nso Omane Boamah na nkasa no eba national security a chese edana kuma so yebusa questions otime ya no kama yebakoshe questions a etime ebusa no na abusha one of the people a otime go pie one ma support Omane Boamah ema otime kasa ye okan some about Omane Boamah no Sammy George na no say Sammy George there Omane Boamah and colleague at parliament almost say now for it okan a lot about Omane Boamah abusha yebo wutie insama Omane Boamah etime ebusa no any answers otime edi ma enya hwe Omane Boamah na nkasa no oye competent and
Minister-designate, if you appear before this committee and you are giving 100 questions that have to do with Galamsey, you will appreciate the fact that Galamsey is a hydra-headed problem for this country. It is not just a security threat, it is both economic and social. Looking at the role of the Ghana Armed Forces from the days of Operation Vanguard to Operation Halt 1 and Halt 2, what do you think the role of the military will be going forward to ensure that after 1 year of President Mohammed's term in office, even the rivers will begin to speak that the country has been reset? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I want to rest on the earlier answers that I had given about Galamsey so that I don't over-elaborate. The justification cannot be understood by anyone considering the harm that it causes. And Honorable listed quite a good number of the untoward issues that emanate from it. What sometimes we don't even avert our minds to is that for people to elect to engage in that activity, sometimes they have to take hard substances and all. So that can also have its own societal effects. That is why the idea of simultaneously providing alternate livelihoods, reclaiming lands, planting on those lands when they have been reclaimed, and there are soil scientists and technologies that can help heal some of these destroyed soils. Even placing factories in some strategic locations to process some of the produce will begin to give a new face to the fight against Galamsey. As we do this, obviously, law enforcement agencies will work together, the police, the military, to ensure that the laws are enforced. And that is why I said we need to also look at not just physical incursion of military personnel, but also using unmanned aerial vehicles. And some of them can even be weaponized to take care of this, because human beings, sometimes if they stay on these operations for a long time, get compromised. But if you dispatch a UAV, a drone, to go on surveillance and send you the exact picture of what is happening, who is going to bribe the drone? Unless maybe the one who is operating it. And the digital footprints of that drone and the operations can also be known. Should it get to the point where weapons would have to be used, as I have said, some of these UAVs can even be weaponized, but that should be the last resort. We need to quickly and aggressively get to the point where we get the people to understand that it's a no, no, no. The environmental and the socio-economic consequences are just too much. And I believe that with the self-purifying nature of water bodies, when we are able to do this with your blessings, within a matter of 1 year, we should begin to see positive outcomes from these interventions. It will be a collaboration.